Hi and welcome to the final day of the Big Virtual Detox. I'm Rachel Swann from rachel-swann.com, and it's lovely to have you here on the very final day. I don't have a guest this morning, it's me. I'm here to round up what my guest has said over the past 2 weeks and to tell you a little bit more about me and my journey, and also how I help women like you to create their successful and fulfilled life in whatever way that might be. So I just want to start by introducing what the Big Virtual Detox is. So in case you have somehow stumbled across this video and you didn't register, which you can do at www.rachel-swann, that's with a double n.com/big virtual detox. And if you sign up there, you will also get access to all the other interviews that I did with the other 7 female entrepreneurs. But this is the place to be if you are a woman, a professional woman or a woman in business who wants to create a successful and fulfilled life, not just in your work life, but also in all areas of your life. So some of the speakers that we've had on this week have been looking at your style, at your relationships, be that relationships in the boardroom or the bedroom. And we've also looked at kind of working moms, getting that life balance, and a bit of health as well with Wendy yesterday from Mutu Systems. So I've had a real mix of female entrepreneurs, but with expertise in all sorts of areas. So that's what the Big Virtual Detox is, if you haven't already been a part of that. And I would recommend that you do register, because I will be able to send you all the details, all the backstage stuff as well. So I want to thank my speakers. I've had an amazing number of speakers, and I just want to remind ourselves of who spoke and very briefly what they talked about. So I kicked off last week with Michelle Holmes from michelle-holmes.com, and she is a really passionate affiliate and residual income marketer, and she gave us her story, and it is a real rags to riches story. She told us about her husband's business, going out of business, being on benefits, not being able to feed themselves, not being able to buy nappies for her son. And she now lives on a tropical island in Thailand, where she's created not only one 6-figure business, but a second 6-figure business, and is now creating a new business using residual income. So she's doing amazingly well, and has loads of information. We then talked to Angela Offren, who is a really successful network marketer. She works for Forever Living, and she has created a hugely successful business. She's the #1 distributor this month with Forever Living in the UK, and that is just an amazing achievement. And she had lots and lots of insights about building a business, about working on a business, and also about the perhaps if you have any preconceptions or misconceptions or any ideas about network marketing, she completely blew them out of the water, because she has made a hugely successful living from working in network marketing, and proved that it is possible. So then on Monday we started with Sam Bell. Sam is a personal stylist, and she gave some insights on how you can wear clothes to reflect your personality, so clothes in a way that will help you to come across in the right way, not just in a kind of formal way or a casual way, but things that are going to reflect you and make you stand out. And that's a really big thing that I'm going to come on and talk about soon, is about being you and letting that you-ness out. So that's what Sam was talking about. Then we moved on. We're talking to Amanda Alexander, who, in my opinion, if you are a working mum, she is the coach for working mums. If you cannot work with her one-to-one, you need to get on her list. You need to get her free stuff, because she is absolutely amazing. And not only does she have fabulous advice to give to you if you are a working mum, be that a businesswoman or in corporate, but she also walks her talk, and she has been there when she's had a partner. She's now a single mum to 2 boys. She's juggling, just like we all are, juggling her life, balancing it out, and she is just, just the bee's knees really. She's just wonderful, and I would highly recommend her. We spoke to Lee Olsen as well. She's the Kitchen Table Revolution. She's passionate about getting people back round the kitchen table, eating real food. She talked specifically with reference to her knowledge, which is of the US market, but in the UK market, and I'm sure in some of the other markets around the world, things are going the same way. So it is about being very, very aware of what you're eating and trying to cook from scratch as often as you possibly can, and that's what she was talking about. She also told us about a program that she's running, and she's giving Big Virtual Detox attendees a huge discount, so please do use the information that you'll get when you register and go and check that out as well. I talked to Claire Brummel, who again was a fantastic interviewee. I loved her energy, I loved her passion when we spoke, and Claire is the relationist. So Claire spoke about relationships, and as I say, every bit of information that Claire gives you is relevant, whether it's a relationship with your work colleagues, whether it's a relationship with your mother, whether it's a relationship with your kids, a relationship with your best friend, or a relationship with your husband, a significant other. Claire's information is useful in relation to all relationships, and she gave some really powerful information away on the call about how just by changing your or the way that you show up in a relationship can really work wonders. So I would urge you to watch Claire's interview and follow the links that we gave out on Claire's interview to find her as well, because she does have some amazing free content that you can get, some free videos, and she really, really knows her stuff and is really, really passionate about just improving relationships and health. We're all really, really busy and we all get into ruts, and I know for a fact that even though my relationships I think are pretty great, that there's always room for improvement. So I was absolutely blown away by the stuff that Claire shared with us on Wednesday. And then yesterday we had Wendy Powell, and again Wendy was an amazing interviewee. She spoke about running her business. She spoke about having her husband work for her, which was quite unusual. I know a number of successful women whose husbands worked for them in their business. I hadn't realised that Claire was one of them. Wendy was one of them. But Wendy spoke about balance. She is a mum as well as a businesswoman. She also spoke about being gentle and being kind with your body and starting to repair your body. And she's an expert in postnatal fitness, but actually it's not just immediately postnatal. So we tend to think of postnatal as being 6-12 months after you have your baby. And her advice is as relevant after 6 months as it is after 60 months, as it is after 16 years. If you don't repair your body after you have a baby, then actually it doesn't matter when you come back to it. You need to repair the damage that you may have done by being pregnant, and for some women that's less than others, but we've all heard of the diastasis recti, where the muscles come apart. We all know about the pelvic floor and the damage that we can do to our pelvic floor just by being pregnant. So all that, and she gave us some really big tips on how to avoid making huge mistakes with our fitness and going straight for things like crunches and sit-ups and all that kind of thing, which actually can do more damage than it can do good. So those were my speakers. And I will come on to some of the other things that they said as I talk through today, about how I work with clients. But that's the roundup. And as I say, if you're not registered, if you are registered, then I'm going to be sending out links to all the interviews so that if you miss them, you can get them and watch the replays. I'm going to be sending out links to all the offers that my speakers gave. Every single speaker came on and offered my audience a specific thing. So for some people it was just to contact them on Facebook and ask them for help. For some people it was specifically a product that they got available. For others it was just to go and sign up for their free product so that they can send you information on a regular basis about their freebies. And as I say, they've all given something away. They've all directed you to be able to follow up. So whichever speakers you particularly resonate with, or if you like all of the speakers, you can go ahead, you can go and get more information on how to work with them, be that on a free basis or actually to pay with them. If you're not signed up and registered, then the link to do that is www.rachel-swann.com/big virtual detox, and if you register there you will get all the information. Sorry, my hay fever's playing up today. So basically what I want to do now, do excuse me looking down at my paper because I don't have anybody to ask me questions like my speakers did, so I've kind of put a few notes together so that I know what I'm going to say. But what I want to do now is just go back and tell you why I put the Big Virtual Detox together, what inspired me to do that, and also who the hell am I to talk to you about building a business or a successful and fulfilled life. So part of the reason that I put this together in the first place was because I felt when I was speaking to my friends, when I was speaking to my clients, that as women, we all feel like we have to do more. So more of whatever it might be. So for sometimes we feel like we need to spend more time with our children. Sometimes we feel we need to spend more time with our parents. Sometimes we need to spend more time with our husbands or our significant others. We feel like we need to spend more hours at work. We feel like we need to put more effort in when we're at work. We feel if we're in business that we need to attract more clients. We need to do more marketing. We need to do more. And what I've learned recently is actually it's not what you do more of, but actually it's those things that you let go of and the things that you do less of that make the biggest impact in propelling you forward. Hence the idea of the big virtual detox. So hence the idea of letting go of things, getting rid of the things that are toxic for you, the things that are not doing you any good. And so ways of getting rid of stress and guilt and all those negative emotions, it's those kinds of things that we need to get rid of. So, who am I? What's my story? Where have I come from? Well, I started out my life, or my working life, as a teacher in the UK. So I qualified straight out of university, and went straight into working in a school, in a primary school, as a teacher. And that was a great job, and I enjoyed doing that, and I loved working with kids, and it was fantastic. It was amazing, and I did that for about 5 years until I left to have my first daughter. So when I left to have my daughter, I looked at my life and I looked at the work that I put in to being a teacher and the amount of hours that I put in as a teacher, and I realised that to be the mum that I wanted to be, I didn't feel I had enough time to commit to working full-time as a teacher and to being the mum. I couldn't see how I was going to fit in all the hours that I needed to work in school and at home and be fully present and fully available for my daughter. So I didn't go back to work and I became self-employed. Now my daughter is now 12 and a bit. My eldest daughter is 12 and a bit. So I've been self-employed pretty much for 12 years now in various different capacities. So I started off as a childminder and then, in fact I started off as a tutor and a piano teacher, and then I moved into childminding, and then once I'd had my third daughter I couldn't childmind anymore because I had too many children under 5. So I decided with my partner that we would go into a different business. So we ran a children's play business, and we provided classes for preschoolers, and we did that for nearly 6 years whilst our kids were little, and we worked long hours, but we kind of juggled it between us, and sometimes he was at home and sometimes I was at home, and because we had preschool children, we employed a nanny who looked after the children in the home too, and that was the most cost-effective way of doing it for us with children of that age. So while the children were all, or until our youngest daughter was at school, that was the best way for us to work it. And it didn't really matter whether we had Mondays off and Wednesdays off or Saturdays off and Sundays off. We could work it between us, that we were always around for the girls, and that we could spend some days with our children. So we never had this sort of weekend thing until all of the girls were at school, and then suddenly our work and our business was not created to be working around a family. We would end up working Saturdays and Sundays. Sometimes we'd be working all day Saturdays and Sunday afternoons. And then we'd be off on a Monday when all the children were in school, or we'd be off on a Wednesday when all the children were in school. And so it no longer really served us as a family. And this was at a time when the big recession hit. And we kind of looked at our business and said, this is not working for us anymore. We want to sell our business. So we tried to sell our business, and people were very reluctant to buy because it was in the middle of the recession. And to be quite honest, for us, our business was still working. The recession hadn't really bothered us in any way, but people were more skeptical about buying into a business. And we did it for another 12 months after we decided to sell. And it came to a point where we just weren't selling. Nobody was buying. And it was a really difficult choice to make, but we actually let it go. And this is my big letting go story. That this business, as successful as it was, and it was successful, and we made money, and we did these classes, and it was fantastic. But we decided that as it was no longer serving us, that we would let it go. And we walked away from the business. We just walked away. And that was a decision that we made because of our family. And because we decided to put our family first. And it's not right for everybody. I'm not saying that that's right for everybody. But what I'm saying is that sometimes letting go and walking away from whatever it might be is the right decision to make. So I moved on with my business. I had gone through a process with somebody else where I'd had some hypnotherapy, and I thought, wow, this is amazing stuff. This is really excellent. This is kind of a different story. But this was to do with my weight and my body confidence and my image and all that kind of thing. And so I started having hypnotherapy, and I had some hypnotherapy, and it worked, and it was great, and I lost weight, and I felt great. And I thought, this is an amazing thing. Why doesn't everybody do hypnotherapy? Why doesn't everybody have hypnotherapy? Because this is just amazing. So I decided to qualify as a hypnotherapist and to set up a new business, which I did. I qualified, I set up my business, it was called Beautiful Swann, and I straight away went out there and said, this is my business, this is my target market. So the market was mums, and I said, this is who I'm going to work with, and this is who they're going to be. So these were mums who had struggled to lose weight, probably before they had kids, but it got worse now they had kids, really struggling to do family meals and all that kind of thing. That was my target market. That's who I was working with. And as I worked with these women, I realised that the results that they got, they were absolutely over the moon with. But the results that they got were not necessarily huge amounts of weight loss. And so they'd lose like 7, 10, maybe even 14 pounds. But what actually happened was, because I was working with them in a bespoke way, because I was asking them what their success criteria were, and because I was working with them and with their own words to propel them towards their success criteria, that when it came down to it, the weight wasn't the issue. The weight was just on the periphery, really. And what the issue was their confidence, their feelings about their bodies, and their relationships with food, with other people. And so I switched my focus. So Beautiful Swans, rather than being a weight loss business, became a body confidence business. What I also realised at the time was that I was not only working with mums, but actually most of the mums that were coming to me were either mums in business, or they were mums who wanted to stay at home and create a business that would work around their families. So again, I didn't walk away this time, but I let go of my preconceptions about who I wanted to work with and embraced the people who were wanting to work with me. And I embraced the women who were looking for that kind of confidence, that kind of success, that feeling that they were doing what they wanted to do and achieving what they wanted to achieve. And I let them tell me what their success criteria were. I let them tell me what it was they wanted to achieve. So did they want to achieve a better work-life balance? Did they want to achieve a certain size? Did they want to just be happy with who they were? Did they want to be skinny? Did they want to be happy being large? Did they, that I didn't put any I didn't tell them what I thought they needed to do. I asked them what they wanted to do, and I helped them to do that. Now, on my business card, I get a lot of comments about this, because on my business card I describe myself as a professional fairy godmother and personal cheerleader. And that is very much how I like to work. I'm here to help you to make your dreams come true. So I want to know what your dream is, what your dream life looks like, what your dream for yourself looks like, and I want to help you to get there. And I also, the personal cheerleader is that, when people send me messages, when my clients send me messages telling me that they have achieved something that we were working towards together, I get such a massive rush, and I'm more happy for those people getting to their goals than I am for me getting to my goals. I'm there, I'm cheering you on, I'm pushing you from behind. I'm with you all of the way. I really do get invested in what you want and you achieving those goals, and really supporting you to do that, because that is what gets me out of bed in the morning, as well as spending time with my kids. But that's the real big thing for me. And my big passion is knowing that I'm helping you to achieve your big passion. So, um, that's really in a nutshell where I've come from and what I'm doing. So one of the big things that I just want to teach you a little bit about today, and I know that my speakers touched on this as well, is about being you. Being you and making time to be you and being confident and happy and supported. And the way that that works, and the way that I feel is really important, is to make time for yourself. And I know Wendy, I don't know if she said this to me in the green room or if she said this out loud when we were in the interview, but she said that one of the things that frustrates her is when her clients say, well, I don't have time to. And it's a little bit like money, really. You know, we can say things like, I don't, or I can't afford, or I don't have the money for, and then we'll go and spend money on something that somebody else thinks is perhaps frivolous. Um, and it's a bit like that with time, you know. If you tell me that you don't have time to put yourself first for 10 minutes, and then you go and play Candy Crush Saga for half an hour, I'm going to tell you that unless that Candy Crush Saga is your me time, that really you do have me time. You do have time to do something meaningful for you every day. So it really is about looking at what you want to spend your time doing and finding that extra time. And actually, you know, a lot of people, I've spoken to a lot of people this week who talks about meditation, and I've spoken to a lot of people this week who have told me that they get up earlier in order to do their meditation. So, you know, there are women out there who are getting up 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes earlier than they would normally get up in order to make time to meditate. And I just want to take you back to a quote from the Dalai Lama, actually, about meditation. And he says, and I am paraphrasing a little bit, but he says that everybody should meditate for an hour a day unless they're busy. And if they're busy, then they should meditate for 2 hours a day. And I think that's a really important quote because it does really underpin everything that I believe in, and that is that unless you're taking that time out for yourself, unless you are making time to support yourself fully, that it doesn't matter how busy you are and how much stuff you try and get done during the day, actually you're not going to be that useful. I think it was Amanda who said it was a bit like the story of when you're in a plane and they go through all the safety procedures, and they say to you very clearly that even if you're responsible for somebody else, you've got to put your own air mask on first. And the reason for that is that if you can't breathe and you're dying, you can't put the mask on anybody else. So you can't put the air mask on your kids if you can't breathe yourself. And so it's kind of like that. You cannot be the perfect wife, you cannot be the perfect mum, you cannot be the perfect employee, the perfect boss, or the perfect businesswoman if you are not taking care of yourself. Because until you take care of yourself, you're not able to do all the things that you need to do to the best of your ability. So taking that time out to do something for you, and I'm not necessarily saying that everyone needs to meditate. You know, I'm a big believer in meditation, and I personally have started getting up earlier to meditate too. But that's not, it could be that your thing, your you time activity is a bath in the evening. It could be that your you time activity is reading a book. It could be that your you time activity is going out for a run. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's meditation or running or exercise or bathing or reading or, whatever it might be. It's about finding that time to take that time back, and really support yourself. And my personal thing would be that you need to be doing a minimum of 10 minutes a day, and probably 1 hour a week, and then a day a month, and that's pretty much taking time for you, is just so important, and that's part of your detox. That's part of your letting go. That's part of letting go of the idea that you have to be busy, busy, busy. And again, I'm not sure if Wendy and I discussed this in the green room or whether we did this live yesterday, but what we talked about was that, in the last generation, that it was seen that women had to be on the go all the time. It was seen that, you couldn't sit down. Women were so busy and so put upon, and they had so much to do, and they never sat down and got even so much as a cup of tea. And that was a good thing. That was what women did. We multitasked. We did this, 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 and this, and men just focused on being the breadwinners, etc., etc. And we've brought that with us into this generation. But we're also now more equal, so we're going out to work, and we are sharing the housework, but we're still seeing that idea that women shouldn't be sitting down and taking time out for themselves, and we've got to get rid of that. We've got to lose that idea. We've got to show our daughters that taking care of you is a really important job. It's not selfish. It's not a luxury. It's part of being healthy. It's part of, just as important as eating lots of fruit and veg and getting the exercise. Taking time out to be on your own and to be you is just part of that healthy lifestyle. So that's my roundup. I want to invite you to come along and speak to me. So I'd really like to invite you to jump on a call with me. And I want to invite you to do that by emailing me, just Rachel, RACHEL, at Rachel-Swann, and that's S for sugar, WAN for Norman, N for Norman, .com. So that's Rachel at Rachel-Swann.com. Just email me, use the subject Big Virtual Detox, and just email me and tell me that you'd like to have a chat with me, that you want to have a free call with me, and we will look at your life, we'll look at your big dreams, we'll look at your goals for the next few months, and we will put together a plan of how you're going to get to your dream and find your successful and fulfilled life. And we'll also try and put in some of that me time as well, because I really want to spread this message. I really want to get out there, spread the message, and work with as many women as I can to really, really, really boost women's self-esteem, make them successful in all areas of their life, in their relationships, in their food, in their body confidence, in their ability to balance their lives, in their businesses. I really want women to seize the day and jump on a call with me. I want you to be successful. I want you to have the freedom that you want in your life, and I want you to really just seize life and grab it by the balls and really shake it up and just live it, because this is not a dress rehearsal. And anybody that's on my mailing list or who's had a look through my blog will notice that last week I had a bit of a midlife crisis and a bit of a wobble. So, life isn't a dress rehearsal. We've got to grab it. We've got to get on and live it and be happy. That's the ultimate. There's a great quote by John Lennon who says that when he was at school, the teacher asked him, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And he said, "Happy." and the teacher told him that he had misunderstood the question, and he said to the teacher, "No, you've misunderstood." So that's all I've got to say today. Please, 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 if you're not registered for the detox, go and get the other interviews in the series. www.rachel-swann.com/big virtual detox. If you want to speak to me, and I'd love to speak to you, rachel@rachel-swann.com, and I will speak to you all really, really soon. Get yourself over to the website, get yourself banging me an email, find me on Facebook, just search me on Facebook. I am Rachel Swann. I'd love to connect with any of you, and if you're in business, LinkedIn too. So this has been the Big Virtual Detox. I've had a fantastic time. I've spoken to some amazing entrepreneurs. I've spoken to some amazing women. I'm starting to really, really believe in the sisterhood, and the support that we can give each other as women. So I am signing out. I've had a lovely time. I hope you've enjoyed it. Tell me what you think. Leave me a comment. Find me on Facebook. Ping me a message. Just tell me what you think of the Big Virtual Detox, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye bye.